Most people do not lose their lives in major catastrophes. They lose them every morning, opening their eyes and reaching for the phone, waking up and immediately letting the outside world rush into their minds like a fire. Then they wonder why they live the whole day exhausted, their minds chaotic, their hearts restless, and their joy slipping through their fingers. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Listen carefully. Not the quality of your bank account, not the quality of your reputation, not the quality of how other people treat you, but the quality of your thoughts. And if the morning is the first doorway of the mind, then the way you walk through that doorway is deciding your whole life. Stoicism does not teach you to run from the world. Stoicism teaches you to stand in the middle of chaos without losing yourself. This is not a history lesson. This is a guide for how to live today. For an age in which the human mind is pulled back and forth by notifications, news, pressure, expectations, comparison, and nameless anxiety. And if you have ever felt tired the moment you wake up, or felt life already heavy before even getting out of bed, then this video is for you. Not to turn you into some trendy early riser, but to help you become a person who lives with intention. A person who does not let a new day begin in chaos. A person who knows how to master himself before facing the world. Below are 10 Stoic principles that can change your mornings. And when your mornings change, your life changes direction with them. 1. Start with a reason strong enough to get out of bed. People do not lose because they are lazy. Many times they lose because they do not know what they are waking up for. If every morning you wake up feeling reluctant, drained, lifeless, then maybe the problem is not your alarm clock. The problem is that you are living without a reason strong enough to make you rise. The Japanese have a beautiful concept, ikigai. It is the point where what you love, what you are good at, what society needs, and what can support your life all meet. Stoicism does not use that word, but the spirit is very close. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded people to live according to their role, to contribute something useful, to step into a new day with responsibility, rather than dragging themselves through it. When you have purpose, morning is no longer a burden. It becomes a starting point. You do not need to have the perfect answer right away, but you do need to begin asking yourself the right questions. What do I truly care about? What can I do well? What value do I want to leave behind? What am I living for beyond mere survival? No one finds direction overnight. But the person who has the courage to ask will soon escape a vague and blurry way of living. Without purpose, people fall easily into procrastination. With purpose, even small things carry meaning. Your day does not become worth living because it is easy. It becomes worth living because you know why you must live it. 2. If you want a strong morning, win the night before. Many people want a good morning, but they treat their evenings carelessly. That is a mistake. You cannot wake up clear-headed if last night you lived like a person without discipline. You cannot expect mental clarity if, before sleep, you kept stuffing your mind with screens, noise, and distraction. Stoicism teaches that action must be intentional. That does not begin in the morning. It begins the night before. The quality of your morning is largely decided by what you do before bed. If the evening comes and you are still mindlessly scrolling, watching one thing after another, letting your mind be pulled around like a boat without a rudder, then the next morning you are not truly waking up. You are simply opening your eyes. A disciplined evening does not need to be complicated. Just a few simple but sharp things. Turn off the screen earlier. Write down the 3 most important things for tomorrow. Breathe slowly so your body understands it is time to rest. Create a space of quiet before sleep. It sounds small, but it is exactly those small things that shape a great life. The weak often think discipline is self-punishment. The mature understand that discipline is how we protect our energy from meaningless drain. Night is not only for rest. Night is where you prepare your spirit for tomorrow. Whoever disrespects the evening will pay for it in the morning. If you are still listening up to this point, pause for 3 seconds and answer honestly in the comments. Which type are you? 1 means you know you need to change, but you still let the evening sweep you away and wake up out of control. 2 means you have already started tightening your rhythm, practicing going to bed on time, waking up on time, and living with more intention every day. Comment 1 or 2 so I know where you are on this journey. And if you want to rebuild yourself from the smallest things, remember to subscribe to the channel so we can walk that road together to the end. 3. A strong morning is a morning that has not been stolen. The first thing many people do after opening their eyes is touch their phone. And in that very moment, they hand the key to their minds over to other people. Emails, messages, news, social media, drama, arguments, showing off, comparison. Your day has not even begun, but your peace has already been robbed. Marcus Aurelius did not have to deal with notifications the way we do, but he understood one thing very clearly. The quality of your attention determines the quality of your life. If your morning begins in a reactive state, then your whole day will be lived in reaction. You are no longer leading your life. You are merely chasing it. So one extremely powerful Stoic principle is this: do not let the world touch your mind before you have touched yourself first. The first hour after waking should be clean ground. No noise, no crowd, no need to respond to anyone immediately. Read a few pages of a book. Sit still for a few minutes, write down a few thoughts, look out the window, drink a glass of water in silence. That is not wasted time. That is the act of reclaiming authority over your own mind. The person who lives reactively is dragged around by life. The person who lives intentionally chooses his own rhythm. Morning does not need to be busy. It needs to be clean enough for you to hear yourself. 4. Real strength lies in consistency. Many people wait for motivation before they act. Stoicism does not live that way. Stoicism respects rhythm, repetition, and small things done consistently. Not because it is glamorous, but because it builds a foundation. Waking up at the same time every day sounds very ordinary, but it is a powerful declaration. It says that you do not let yourself be dragged around by temporary emotion. It says that you do not live by, if I feel like it, I do it. If I do not, I quit. It says that you are practicing self-mastery. A stable life is not built by explosive moments. It is built by days that repeat the right things. The more stable your mornings are, the steadier your mind becomes. The steadier your mind becomes, the sharper your actions become. The sharper your actions become, the less chaotic your life becomes. Of course, maintaining consistency is not easy. Your bed will feel more attractive than any ideal in the early morning. Your body will look for excuses. Your mind will negotiate. You will hear that familiar voice, just 5 more minutes. That is exactly where Stoicism begins to matter. Discipline is not winning when it is easy. Discipline is winning when the body wants to let go. Every morning you rise at the time you chose. You are not just getting out of bed. You are building a new identity, an identity that does not bow to laziness, an identity that knows how to keep its word to itself. 5. Do not turn one stumble into a reason to abandon the whole path. One reason many people fail is not because they are weak. It is because they are too cruel to themselves. All it takes is one morning of oversleeping, and they begin attacking themselves. All it takes is one day out of rhythm, and they conclude that they are useless. Then from one small mistake they destroy the whole process. Stoicism does not teach perfection. Stoicism teaches return. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to be patient with himself, not to indulge weakness, but so he would not destroy himself with shame. You are human. You will have tired days. You will have off days. There will be times when you do not do what you intended to do. The question is not whether you stumble. The question is how you respond after the stumble. The weak turn mistakes into sentences. The strong turn mistakes into data. If one morning you do not wake up on time, do not open a courtroom in your mind. Open a question instead. Why? What did I do last night? What do I need to adjust? Excessive self-blame is not discipline. It is self-torment dressed up as strictness. Real stoicism is both firm and lucid. It does not soothe you with soft excuses, but it also does not crush you for one slip. If you fall, get up. If you drift, correct it. If you slow down, keep going. That is endurance. 6. Use small victories to train greater strength. There are people who dismiss small things. They think making the bed, getting out of bed immediately, putting the alarm clock out of reach, tidying the room, are trivial matters. But Stoicism understands something clearly. Character is forged from small things repeated every day. Placing the alarm clock far from the bed is not merely a trick to avoid oversleeping. It is how you force yourself to act instead of negotiating with laziness. Making the bed after waking up is not merely cleaning the bed. It is a signal sent into the mind. I do not live carelessly. I begin a new day with order. Tidying the space around you is not only about cleanliness. It is a way of telling yourself that this life is worth caring for. People who live sloppily in small things rarely stand firm in big things, because the mind has already grown used to leniency. Small victories are not loud, but they accumulate into force. Every time you complete one small thing the right way, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. No one becomes strong by accident. People are trained through hundreds of small acts that others consider unimportant. Self-respect is not shown only in grand words. It lives in how you tie your shoes, arrange your pillow, keep your word to your alarm, and step into a new day with serious bearing. People who are truly strong usually do not begin with big things. They begin by not underestimating small things. 7. Do not fight alone if you can fight beside one right person. Stoicism is not isolation. Stoicism is knowing how to govern yourself while still understanding the value of the right community. Many people try to change their lives in total silence. They do not share with anyone. They do not ask anyone to remind them. They do not let anyone see their commitment. Then when they weaken, they slip very fast. The right companion can help you keep rhythm when your willpower drops. Not to live your life for you, but to remind you of the better version of yourself. That person could be a friend, a family member, a coworker. That person does not need to speak beautifully. Just honestly, just seriously enough about growth. Just brave enough to remind you when you begin indulging yourself. A person like that is extremely valuable. The Stoics understood that character is not forged only in solitude, but also sharpened through the right interactions. We learn from each other. We see our blind spots through other people. We maintain momentum better when we do not have to walk entirely alone. But remember this clearly: not every companion is good. You need someone who respects discipline, who does not encourage weakness, who does not create more distraction. A good companion does not make you more comfortable in a weak way. They make you stronger in a kind way. Self-reliance is strength, but knowing how to choose the right person to move forward with is also a form of wisdom. 8. Remember that life is finite, and that is why today must truly be lived. When people hear about death, many avoid it. Stoicism does not. Not because Stoics are pessimists, but because they are awake. When you truly remember that human life is limited, many things that once troubled you begin to fall away on their own. Petty matters, small irritations, meaningless competitions, endless procrastination suddenly begin to look absurd. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the shortness of life. Not to become sad, but to live clearly. Waking up each morning is not something guaranteed. It is a gift you were never promised. If today is a finite day, would you still want to use it half awake? To scroll mindlessly? To hold on to old resentment? To drain yourself for things that do not matter? Remembering death does not make life darker. It makes life sharper. It forces you to ask serious questions. What am I giving my time to? Whom am I loving, and in what way? What am I postponing because I assume I have more time? If today were the last day, would I be ashamed of the way I am living? This is not an extreme way of thinking. It is a way of thinking that helps us become less shallow. The person who remembers that life is limited wastes less of it. They choose more carefully, live more deeply, love more clearly, and step into each morning with gratitude instead of complaint. 9. Practice facing hardship ahead of time so that when it comes, you do not break forward. Most people suffer not only because of hardship. They suffer because they have not prepared their minds for hardship at all. Stoicism has a very powerful tool, imagining adversity in advance. It sounds negative, but in reality it is a form of inner preparation. You imagine beforehand that today may not go the way you want. Work may go wrong. Someone may upset you. A plan may collapse. Life may not bend for you, not so you become afraid, but so that when it happens, you do not collapse as if life has betrayed you. The person who has never prepared the mind reacts intensely to small things. The person who has prepared stays calmer, not because he is cold, but because he understands. Life is like this. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius all understood very clearly that loss and obstacle are natural parts of life. The only thing that truly belongs to you is your attitude, your choices, and your response. Imagining hardship ahead of time does not make you weaker. It makes you less naive. It means you do not enter a new day like a child expecting everything to go smoothly, but like an adult ready to remain steady, even when there is impact. And here's the paradox. When you accept that hardship may come, you actually become more grateful for what is peaceful. You stop treating good things as automatic. You stop living as if everything will always be there. You become more present with life. 10. End the day with gratitude so that waking up tomorrow no longer feels like a burden. Many people end the day in lack. They lie down with minds full only of what they do not have, what is not enough, what they have not achieved, what they have not been recognized for. Living that way for too long turns the mind into a machine of scarcity. No matter how much it gains, it still feels incomplete. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Practice seeing what you already have. A gratitude journal can be something very simple. Each night, just write down a few things. A kind conversation, a hard task you completed, a peaceful meal, a moment when you kept your calm, a beautiful sky, a bed still waiting for you to return. Those things sound small, but they are exactly what keep the human soul from becoming numb. Gratitude does not make you weak or unambitious. It keeps you from becoming a person who is always hungry, always dissatisfied, always looking at life through the lens of what is missing. When you end the day with gratitude, you sleep with a softened mind. And when you wake up, you no longer feel like a new day is pressing down on your chest. You begin to see tomorrow not as a frightening battle, but as another chance to live more kindly, more clearly, more deeply. That is how Stoicism enriches a human being from within, not through possessions, not through applause, but through a mind peaceful enough to recognize that life, even in difficult days, still holds many things worth cherishing. In the end, Stoicism does not promise you a life without storms. It gives you something far more valuable, an inner strength solid enough not to be swept away by them. These 10 principles are not only for fixing a morning, they are for changing the way you step into life. Remember this: the person without purpose wakes up in confusion. The person without discipline is dragged around by emotion. The person who does not protect attention will have it stolen by the world. The person without gratitude will live in scarcity, even with full hands. And the person who forgets that life is finite will waste life as if he will live forever. You do not need to change everything tomorrow, but you do need to begin. Begin with an intentional evening. A morning without touching your phone. One time getting out of bed without negotiation. One small but decisive action. Because life does not change through grand promises. It changes through small actions repeated with awareness. Master your morning. You will gradually master your day. Master your day. You will gradually master your life. And when that moment comes, you will understand one thing very clearly that weak people rarely understand. Peace is not a gift. It is the result of a mind that has been trained. Since you stayed until the end of this video, I want to ask you one very direct question. After these 10 Stoic principles, what do you need most right now? 1 means more discipline to master your morning. 2 means more calm, so life does not drag you around. 3 means living with clearer purpose, so each day no longer passes in vain. Comment 1, 2, or 3 right below so I know where you are standing and can make the next video around what you need most. And if you enjoy content that is deep, sharp, lucid, and genuinely helps you grow stronger from within, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel.